I hope my screen is visible. This would be a very short demonstration of what I have prepared. I'll deploy a retrieval augmentation generation app, which you can see on the left side of the screen. It's the IITM RAG application. The tech stack behind it is Neo4j database, vector database, Llama 3 running locally on my computer, Streamlit to serve the application, and Ollama, which hosts Llama 3. It allows people to query an already ingested PDF, which is the student handbook. A lot of students used to require handbook to ask questions and get responses. So I've pre-trained it on the IITM student handbook. I have also added the functionality to upload user PDFs. You can, of course, ask natural language questions about the content. You'll get contextual answers using Llama 3 via Ollama. And the access is through secure access is through Cloudflare Tunnel, which runs locally on my computer. So this is the flow. User logs into the system first using an OTP. At present, this app is only limited to IIT Madras PhD student. I have put in a rule that locks access to only those email domains, then uploading the PDF, Streamlit, then query, and then LLaMA3. Then you can ask user questions as well. Uh, a future action on this is to convert this RAG into an agentic RAG, where the output of Llama 3 gets judged by another LLM, which then suggests any improvement before the output comes to a human. But two LLMs on my computer configuration will slow down the app too much. But that is in pipeline if I am able to get access to a much powerful computer or something like a Collab Pro or something of that sort. At present, this is having only one shot RAG with Llama 3. So with that as the background, I will let's focus on the right side here. You can see this README, pretty much the same. This is the folder structure. It has app.py, RAG engine, and other stuff. I'm using Docker Desktop to run Neo4j because Neo4j running locally creates a lot of issues. So running it on Docker is, I found it pretty useful. Python 3.1 was the latest version. Install these dependencies. Uh, First created the Docker volume for Neo4j and ran these commands like docker volume create Neo4j data and started running it. Daily usage is whenever I restart this application, the entire Docker and the Cloudflare URL changes, and I have to restart the Docker as well because I'm restarting my laptop. So I'll run this RAG application launch rag app.py. It will start a Docker desktop. It will start Neo4j container. It will launch Llama 3 model. It will launch Streamlit in the front end. It will start the Cloudflare tunnel and something, it will create a public URL like this. Front end, then what I'll do is I'll log in with IITM BS email address, upload a PDF, ask questions, see recent questions, and try some word similarity search as well. Every user who uses it with an email address has a private folder logged and locked with their email prefix so that they can again come back and access their own files or continue with their own queries. Again, as I told, I'm using a vector database and LLM in the backend, frontend with Streamlit, and for semantic embeddings, I'm using nomic-embed-text. I found it pretty fast. Some people also use other embeddings which are multilingual, but I found this pretty useful for me. Tunneling through Cloudflare, and for PDF parsing, I'm using FITS. I am ingesting and dropping any special characters because they are impacting the processing and indexing on Neo4j. I am also replacing the font with a standard open source font so that the font, a pretty strange font, does not throw an error on Neo4j. Those PDFs are stored here, the Neo4j is deleted, then this data volume will preserve the embeddings, the questions are in the log, and if Cloudflare is not generated, you can check the console. Okay, so with that, let's go to launch reg app.py. It simply runs these commands to minimize this and launches Docker Desktop. So here we go. So it launches Docker Desktop. So you would see Docker Desktop coming up. Takes around 5 to 10 seconds. Then it launches Neo4j, which is accessible here, the Neo4j browser. So I'll minimize this. It's Neo4j is running. It launches Ollama, which has LLaMA3 served through Ollama. And then it launches a Streamlit app. So it will wait for the Streamlit app to start on the local host. So here is the Streamlit app running. Once the Streamlit app is launched, it will then expose it through Cloudflare Tunnel. So now it has started the Cloudflare Tunnel and generated a public URL. So this will stay so long as I am keeping this program running. The moment I restart, it goes and changes. What I've done is in logs, you can see Cloudflare URL here as well. A lot of time once the Cloudflare URL runs, or if suppose classic example, this one, I've just resized the window and the entire everything has gone. Everything is completely black. So how do I get this one? Cloudflare URL. So I've dumped the Cloudflare URL here as well, so that someone can have a look here as well. So if I copy this, what I've done is I have added some terminology just to make it clear that people are accessing my local computer through internet. So if you access this, it shows a simple ask the IIT Madras PS degree handbook and can make mistakes and whatever. If you access it via the Cloudflare ID, um, and when you log in, it will give you a message in the top that you're logging in through a remote access and not locally. So let's try the remote access. And what I'll do is I'll also try to put my system resource consumption here so that you can see that this is not a very high tech system. It's a very simple system. So it has just 16 GB of RAM. I'll put it here. I'll make it a bit smaller. And I'll keep it somewhere here. So if you see here, so you can see when it's a very pretty ancient GPU. It's not a very rocket science GPU as well. 1650 Ti with 4 GB of RAM, which you can see here. Let me make it the way here. With the 4 GB of RAM. So it's not very shared GPU is 4.8, but dedicated GPU is only 4 GB of RAM and a pretty standard memory. So it will hit entire consumption when I ask a simple question, right? So actually the memory has already hit a lot of peaks here because I'm anyway running Zoom and recording this. So there's another one. What I can do actually is I can close the Slack. So Slack will save some memory for us. So this is the kind of optimization I have to do if I want to run it on my computer. I have to run, let's quit the Teams as well. Close OneNote. We can't close anything else. Everything else is just critical. So it will at least free some of the memory, and then we can then do the computation here. So with that optimization done, let me just copy my own email address. I'll come back, I'll put it here. So if, for example, you put, suppose, whatever, abcd@gmail.com, whatever, or if you put anything, what it'll do is and if you click on send OTP, it will say only IITM BS emails are allowed. So only faculty and students of IIT Madras BS degree can access it. So you have to put the IIT Madras domain, then you will accept it. Then click on send OTP. It will push the OTP to your email. This is the email OTP. Let me copy it. Let me paste it. and verify the OTP. It says authenticated successfully. And rerun settings, record a screencast, print, those functionalities are anywhere there. So asking a question. So what's the favorite question? Say, how many, let's ask, what is this document about? About. And the moment I hit enter, you can see a spike on the GPU on the left side because it will say the GPU at 8% for simple one query. And that's the end of it. And this is a pre-trained Neo4j database which indexes built in. So based on this context, this document is about a student handbook or a program specifically outlined, blah, 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 academic calendar and stuff. Getting policy, exit the program. We can select. So if we click on this question, it will fill it up and run the query. For example, suggested question, what is the grading policy in a student handbook, for example? Yeah, no, still running. GPU under 3%. Sometimes I do give this link to my IIT Madras Google group so that people can try it and have fun with it. But it's not ready for say 100 requests per second, for example. That will crash the GPU. As you can see, everything is completely peaking here. And I will have a blue screen of death on my computer if I have double the amount of requests coming in. Okay, let's focus here. Okay, so it says unsatisfactory, presence greater than 40 is pass, unsatisfactory, absent, repeat, blah, 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 whatever. So let's say how many years to get a degree, for example. How many years to get a degree? That's what something a lot of people would be interested in. What did I do? How many years to get a degree? What did I do? Oh, didn't do anything wrong. Okay, so 9 terms, 3 years to get a BSc degree, 4 year, 12 terms to get a BS degree, and whatever. So there are these older questions, suggested questions, whatever. Next is finding similar words. For example, if you want to know, so say if assignment is the word, that's where Neo4j and vector database, so assignment, assign, task, placement, appointed, awarded. It tries to find the semantic similarity, creates a word distance tree. Doesn't overlap stuff, but it shows what this looks like and whatever. You can make it larger and play with it and download it, whatever. Pop it and do stuff, right? Okay, so let me go on Z. Anyway, did I close it? Yes, I closed it. So we need the URL again. Copy. It's logged me out. Send OTP. Okay. So we have looked at ask a question, we have looked at find similar words as well. Now is to upload and ask questions from your own PDF. So I've allowed 200 megabyte per file if you can upload a PDF. For example, I took part in a Syngenta hackathon, AI agent hackathon. So I can upload this AI agent hackathon file here and then ask question what this AI agent hackathon was all about. Just bear with me for the slow internet. So once it uploads, you'll again see a peak happening on the left side because here the entire Neo4j indexes are being rebuilt. The entire vector database is being rebuilt and whatever. Llama is getting fed the chunks and everything. So now if I ask, what is this document about? It's not a pretty large document, it's a 7 megabyte. Uh, I hope it can summarize it quickly for us. Yeah, this is about integrating two data sets, structured database, document repository to provide information on internal policy, the inventory data from relevant policy documents. This was the hackathon. So if I want to know what is the deadline for the hackathon, I think it has passed. It was in May. I have participated in that one actually. What is the deadline for the hackathon? CPU 100%. There's no mention deadline in the context, so there's no specific deadline. Okay, so here it has given an incorrect answer. So if I remove for the hackathon, if I just say what is the deadline, it will give you the right answer. I think whenever the CPU peaks, it just abandons the depth of search. And the document doesn't mention deadline of hackathon. See, if I say what is the deadline, it gives deadline is May 25, line 59. So but if I say deadline of the hackathon, it doesn't get the context because it's not mentioned in that chunk, hackathon deadline. So it's not able to understand this document is about the hackathon. So that level of reasoning in Llama 3, untuned Llama 3, not untuned, semi-tuned Llama 3 is not there. Suppose say what uh, technologies are allowed. Because the document did mention which front end, back end, which tech stack, with LLM models and stuff. Let's see if it's able to parse those technologies. So the entire objective, no specific technologies, to freely explore project preferred tech stack. So yeah, so they did allow us to use certain technologies, but they also mentioned certain tech stacks as well as the preferred, but they also mentioned can use anything. Okay, so we did this ingestion. We have done the find similar words. We have done ask a question as well. Just to recap, if you ask, suppose, how many credits in foundation level, for example. So why I'm saying this, because when we have uploaded and recreated the index for that hackathon file, it has not gone and polluted the index of the main file. So every person who logs in uploads their own document and then trains whatever the entire chunking, uh, tokenizing, embedding, creating vector databases doesn't impact the main. So it segregates every user. 32 level credits and per credit 1000. So that's the answer. So of course you can then download as PDF as well. It creates a nice PDF if you want to have a look. This is how many credits, this is the question, this is the answer, for example. Those who want to access. Um, and then the future action here is again, of course, adding another LLM, which can parse through these outputs and then give a go ahead before they are available to humans. But again, as you can see, even with this level of effort, we have the entire CPU and GPU and everything hitting the max limit, right? 16 GB of compute of RAM and disk compute capacity. And this is something that works. You can have a RAG running with this. So again, the backend here is Neo4j database. Frontend is a Streamlit app, and it uses LLaMA3. And then, of course, I've made a simple launch URL, launch Python code, which does step by step. So it launches, it launches a private virtual environment, and it launches Docker desktop, then it launches Neo4j, then it starts Llama, then it runs LLaMA3. Then it runs the entire process log to gather all this data. Then it starts the Streamlit application, runs Streamlit. Once the Streamlit is ready, it checks that Streamlit is running. Then it goes and extends it through Cloudflare Tunnel, and then it creates Cloudflare URL. And once the Cloudflare URL is created, it extracts that, because Cloudflare gives a lot of log. It extracts through regex the URL. Then it tries to put it on the screen, as well as dumps it in this file. So if you go here, you can see the latest URL, which is here. So that's all that I had for today. Thank you so much. Hope you like this IITM RAG app. Take care. Stay safe.